Hi, it's Gabriele Battista from Homes into Reality, talking about being a Toronto first-time buyer every single week. Now this week I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I do a lot of stats, I do a lot of news, a lot of information about being a first-time buyer in Toronto. But actually this week I'm going to show you some properties. Because in the end, I know people are looking out there, they're curious at what a first-time buyer can afford. And maybe they're wondering, maybe this is how much I can afford. But they want to know what this price point gets them. That's really important to note as well. So over the next weeks or months or whatever it may be, we're actually going to go through different neighborhoods in Toronto, different pockets, different neighborhoods, and we're going to get a sense of what certain price points can get us. And they're all going to be entry-level price points. They're all going to be condos or entry-level homes. So we can see, hey, this is how much money I can afford. This is what it gets me in this neighborhood. Now this week, we're going to start with one of my favorite neighborhoods in Toronto, in Etobicoke, Humber Bay Shores. And this pocket of Humber Bay Shores is known for a couple of reasons. For the one reason I typically note is the location being such a spot where you're not in the busyness of the downtown core, but you're also in a spot where you could very easily commute downtown. You could very easily commute North York to the West End. You're in a good pocket where commuting by car is very, very easy. The other thing people really appreciate about Humber Bay Shores is you're by the water. You get some really gorgeous layouts where you're actually looking at the water with an unobstructed downtown skyline view. So it's a pocket a lot of people like, a lot of great restaurants, a very walkable in the sense, a lot of parks and a lot of just cool scenery in the area. Enough of me, let's actually look at these properties now. So when we look at Humber Bay Shores and we compare it to Toronto, it's in the eastern end of Etobicoke, but still on the west side of the area. And Humber Bay Shores is, in my opinion, starts when you get off of Park Lawn on the highway and you go all the way to Marine Parade, where there's a bunch of really cool condos that kind of go along Humber Bay Shores, just where Lake Ontario is. I pushed it all the way to about Sunnyside Park, which is where Keele is. I pushed this to be the Humber Bay Shore pocket that I look at. But out of all the condos I've sold, I've used a price point of, as mentioned in the video, under $600,000. So we're looking at properties most likely that are selling between $500,000 and $600,000, your typical starting condo price point. And we're looking at condos that have sold, not for sale, but sold just before this time at March 1st to today. So that's our about a month of inventory at this point. So out of all the condos that I went through, I got about 7 of them. We'll start with 90 Park Lawn. And 90 Park Lawn is actually one of my favorite buildings in the pocket. It's a little bit more north compared to the other ones. You can see over here, it's not on the lake, for example. You don't get a lot of lake views with this, or at least not a lot of direct lake views with this pocket. But you get some really cool layouts. The building's really well kept, very clean. Some of the layouts are a little bit bigger. I will tell you, with this unit, that is not the case. But we'll get into that in a second. It was listed at $538 and sold for $535. We'll look over here. Again, there's 2 towers. It's 88 Park Lawn and 90 Park Lawn here. Very clean towers, very nice. But your unit itself is very small. I believe it's about 484 square feet, this one over here. And you're looking, your kitchen's very closed off. It's more of a hallway that is being used as a kitchen. And then one big open living room space, with your bedroom being on the side, kind of hidden away, tucked away from everything else. Not a ton of natural light getting in your bedroom. So again, smaller condo. The price point is kind of indicative of it. It's this. I think it's the one that sold for the least out of all 7 we're looking at $535. So very first-time buyer friendly, very entry-level price point type of look. Very similar to the property we just saw. 105 the Queensway is not exactly on the water. We'll look on the map. It's actually a little bit further east compared to the other condos. You're a little bit more removed from the district or the main core of where the condos are in Humber Bay Shores. But you're in a decent park. You're right by Sunnyside Park. 105 the Queensway, and we're looking at the condo. It's very reminiscent of the size of the other one. We're looking at $525,000 it's sold at, and we're under 500 square feet. So very much entry-level size, entry-level price point. So on the cheaper end of this, we're looking at very similar to the first one, your kitchen being in your hallway, a little bit smaller, a little bit more divided, a little bit more of an open bedroom, a little bit more out there. Looks like light gets in there a little bit better, but again, small, similar layout to that first one. And then one big open living space that's kind of, your dining room, your living room, your eating area, whatever it may be. So very similar to the first one, and I would say probably a little bit of a better view. Nice to have, you're high enough where the highway's not too big of a deal. Very nice building as well, 105 Queensway. But yeah, very similar in the sense of similar price point to the 2. We're going to look, this one sold for $10,000 less than the last one, but very much, a smaller type layout for this type of stuff. The next condo we'll look at is 30 Shore Breeze. We're looking at this one selling in a similar time frame, and it was listed at $569,900, and it sold basically right at asking price, slightly higher on 6 days on market, which tends to be the typical time frame that I'm looking condos selling in the market now. It's not extremely competitive, but they're selling when they're priced properly. I really like this building at 30 Shore Breeze. I'm not a fan of the one across the street, but this one's really good. Newer building, quick elevators, good management, good amenities. And we'll look at the unit itself. It's a step up from the last two that we saw. You're a little bit bigger, a little bit more space to walk through. Your kitchen is not in a hallway, which is always an added bonus. You have a little bit of a corner space. Again, not big to any sense, but you definitely have more of a space where you can put a kitchen island there, have a prep area versus your dining room area being a little bit separate. The last two, you couldn't fit even a dining room table in that hallway, or let's say a kitchen island. This is that step up where you're getting that space, and then you're getting here a bigger bedroom. You're getting an actual window in your bedroom, which is a huge plus. So that's also good to note. And then you're getting a larger living space. And again, sold at $570. So it is a little bit of a price point step up from the last ones. These are other ones selling at $525 versus $535. And now we're at $570. So the higher to mid 500s, we're getting that little bit extra space that we're looking for, with this one being about 500 square feet. And the next one we're looking at is 185 Legion Road. It's in a pocket that's a little bit secluded from the rest of, let's see here. It's a little bit more secluded from the area. You look over here, 185. It's not in the overall Humber Bay Shores pocket. It's a little bit more off of that pocket, across the train tracks by Manitoba Street. It is separated a little bit more of a walking distance, but still in the Humber Bay Shore area. And I would say I've seen these buildings a couple of times. A little bit of an older building, but a nicer building. I think it shows very well. So 185 Legion, I appreciate, because this is probably one of the bigger layouts we're going to see in this entry-level price point. I'm actually shocked they listed as a one bedroom, because I look over here, it looks like a one bedroom plus den. They were listed at $589 and they sold at $589. So similar to the last one, they had it listed at their certain price point. They had it on the market for about 2 weeks and they sold at their price point. No bidding wars, no nothing crazy. They've listed it as needed at their price point, and they were able to get it in under 2 weeks, which is pretty good. So overall, the space looks very nice, really well kept, well clean. Again, not your newest type of look, but overall really well maintained. I like the island layout with the breakfast bar. This, some people would actually call a den in a lot of listings. They didn't here, which I actually can appreciate it, because you couldn't get, let's say, someone living in here. But you have a very nice dining room setup. You can have a very nice office setup over here. It's a little bit of extra space a lot of people are looking for. Nice bedroom setup with a proper window. Nice washroom. Overall, shows actually very well. I think it feels very clean. You are facing the highway, which is a little bit of a downfall. You're not too high up. You're on floor 16, so you may have got some noise through that. But I imagine, overall still a bright unit as well. You're looking at where is it over here? Square footage, we're at 640. So it's definitely our biggest layout so far that we've seen through all of these. So now with 20 Shore Breeze, it's the same, very similar building to what we saw with 30 Shore Breeze a couple ago. It's just in a different tower verse of it. But if you look at the area, you're very much on the prime pocket where you have a great lake area. You're very walkable in the pocket. You have all your restaurants are a walk away, which is very nice. But when you look at the actual unit, it shows pretty well. They were listed at $590 and they sold at $593. So maybe a little bit of competition that got them there. It was 6 days on the market. But not enough competition where you're seeing drastically change list price versus selling price. But the property itself shows well, $557, so slightly smaller of a floor plan with the parking locker. We're gonna look through it here. Shows well, like a decent floor plan. Not your best floor plan, but I do enjoy the breakfast bar. Nice open area, but a good entry level unit. Like, this is what we're talking about, entry level units. It shows very well. Clean look, clean, sleek finishes. Nothing you could do right away. Like, this is moving ready to the fine of it. Very nice appliances with this building. Great size bedroom. I actually can really like this bedroom. Smaller windows, so not a ton of light coming in, but overall shows very well. And you do have a little bit of that lake view as well, being on a lower floor, and an unobstructed skyline and lake view, which is very, very nice. And the last condo we're going to look at today from Humber Bay Shores is 10 Park Lawn Road, Unit 616. Very similar situation. Well, actually, it's a different situation. This was listed at $599, was in the market 18 days, so about 3 weeks, and sold at $582. So the buyer who ended up buying this property was able to come in with a little bit of a lower asking price than asking, and able to get a little bit more of a deal for them. That is something that we are seeing in this market, even though it's a little bit more competitive now that spring's come along, but we definitely are seeing these opportunities with condos. So that's a good little story that someone was able to get a little bit of a price there. And if we look at the actual building, it's a 1+ den purely. This is a proper den where it's more secluded off. You could easily put a door there. Bright unit, a little bit more of an open feeling. You can easily put an island here, so it's a nice amount of space. Very bright. A lot of large windows. And then an open living space as well. Easily you can put a TV setup over here. And then I imagine a decently large bedroom. I've been in this building, 10 Park Lawn, a few times. I do like the buildings. The layouts are pretty simple, but overall pretty good. Well done stage and walk-in closet as well. So the property shows well, nice washroom as well. And then your view is nothing special. You are in the pocket of, for 10 Park Lawn, where there's that Metro shopping mall. It should be up over here. Yes, right by the Metro. So it is a very quick walk over there. You don't have a ton of views for this building, but you get very easy. You walk downstairs, get whatever you need to get. So it's in a very good pocket for amenities and such. That's the properties I picked out today. I try to get a good diversity of different types of properties at a little bit lower price point versus right to our $600 price point, and give you just a sense. This is what a first-time buyer can afford in these areas, and this is what, maybe might be my first home as a condo. And then, of course, obviously, as the price point gets higher, you have more opportunity in different layouts, different spaces. But it hopes to give you a good sense of some of the main buildings in the core and giving you a sense of what Humber Bay Shores has to offer. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about the properties, the price, the location, whatever it may be. I'm curious to hear feedback about people in Torontonians are looking when they're coming to move to Toronto as a first-time buyer. So your feedback is always welcome. And I'm going to be doing more of these in different locations over the next few months and weeks or whatever it may be. So let me know what neighborhoods you want me to do, and I'll have that next on my list to get done for you guys. As always, Gabriele Battista, Homes into Reality. Thank you so much for watching this week. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I have videos every single week on every Wednesday talking about the Toronto real estate market. And of course, every week on Thursday, we have videos here on YouTube. So thanks for watching. Come back next week. Talk soon. Bye.